This video is about CELPIP reading for information task. This task gives you a longer informational passage like a short article or a policy note and then several multiple choice questions that test how well you can find, interpret and use facts from that passage. So what it checks? It checks the detailed retrieval, which means exact facts, dates, numbers and names. And also it checks the main idea or purpose. That means the author's overall point or intent. Okay. And the next check is here inference. That means the logical conclusions you can draw from what's written, not from outside knowledge. Vocabulary in context, yes, that also will be checked by this task. What a word or phrase means here. And integration, synthesis, which means combining details from different parts of the passage to answer one question. Remember, you need to gather the information from various parts in order to answer a specific question. And trap detection, which means spotting distractor choices that look plausible but don't match the text exactly. So you'll typically see one medium long passage, nearly about 250 to 400 words, 4 to 6 questions, 4 answer choices. So here, time pressure matters. You should be fast but accurate. Here are my reading strategy steps. The first one is you have to read the question. That means not the whole passage. Say it loud. What is this question asking? You need to know that. And then highlight keywords in the question. Try to circle words like dates, numbers, names, and strong terms like always, never, only, because these are your search tokens, okay? And predict where to look. That is pretty important. You have to ask yourself which paragraph likely contains that information. You have to jump there. So don't reread the entire passage and scan, not skim the target area. Remember that you just need to scan it. You have to move your eyes past searching for keywords, numbers, dates, and the same wording used in the question. And test each option against the passage text. Don't accept an option until you can match its meaning to a specific sentence or a clear implication in the passage. Now, let me give you some strategies for detail, that means fact questions. This is where students lose points, so be picky. Keywords tends to be an exact match. If the question asks for a date, person, place, then you have to find exact token in the passage. You have to check for modifiers, words like approximately, up to, at least. These words change meaning. If the passage says about 10% and answer says that exactly 10%, which is risky, right? So there is a difference because in the passage it is given as about 10% and in an option it is given as 10% exactly, which is not correct, isn't it? So carefully you have to note down for the modifiers and eliminate anything that adds extra information not in the passage. The correct option will be supported directly, not implied indirectly. And finally, watch for numbers swapped around. CELPIP allows switching digits or dates. You have to compare it carefully. Okay, so when you find the fact, silently say, found it, line X. That prevents second guessing. And let me give you some strategies for inference questions if you are coming across inference type of questions. So these are evidence based, right? You must show the trial from text to idea. So find the text that hints at it. Inference answers are not spelled out, but they are strongly suggested by specific lines. So you have to ask, does the passage support this or is it just plausible? If you must add outside facts, then it's wrong. Okay? And use elimination strategy. Cross out choices that require extra assumptions or contradict explicit lines. Okay? Cross out choices that require extra assumptions, rely on outside knowledge, or contradict explicit lines. you can use the elimination strategy here and prefer the option that is the most directly supported, even if it sounds cautious. Okay, let me give you a practical tip. Phrase it like, because the passage says A and B, we can conclude C. If you can't make that sentence, don't pick it. Okay? Now, here is an example. The topic is the history and rise of urban rooftop gardens. Please listen to it carefully. If you want, you can pause the video and try to read and understand by yourself. Okay? Urban rooftop gardens have become increasingly popular in cities around the world, but their origins go back much farther than most people realize. While modern rooftop gardening became widely recognized in the early 2000s, historical evidences shows that ancient civilizations such as the Babylonians built elevated gardens thousands of years ago. The famous hanging gardens of Babylon, often considered one of the seven wonders of the ancient world, are believed by many historians to be an early form of rooftop gardening, although some scholars argue that they may have been constructed on terraces rather than flat roofs. Today, rooftop gardens serve several purposes beyond decoration. In many large cities, they help combat the urban heat island effect, a phenomenon where city temperature rise significantly due to concrete, traffic, and lack of vegetation. Plants on rooftops absorb heat and release moisture, naturally cooling the surrounding area. Additionally, rooftop gardens are used to grow vegetables and herbs, providing local food sources for residents who might not have access to traditional farmland. Another major benefit is improved mental well being. Studies conducted in 2018 and 2021 both concluded that access to green spaces, even small rooftop ones, reduces stress levels and increases productivity. Many workplaces have now introduced rooftop relaxation zones where employees can unwind during breaks. However, rooftop gardens also come with challenges. Installation can be expensive, especially for older buildings that require structural reinforcement to support the additional weight of soil and water systems. Maintenance is another concern. Without regular care, plants can dry out quickly due to wind exposure or insufficient irrigation. Despite these difficulties, the popularity of rooftop gardens continues to grow as cities become more crowded and environmental concerns rise. Many urban planners predict that rooftop gardens will become a standard feature of future city design, offering a practical and visually appealing solution to space limitations. Let's move on to the question here. The first question is, what is the main purpose of the passage? We have four options given here. You need to find out the correct option. And let me tell you the correct option here. It is option B, to provide an overview of the rooftop garden. Okay, I'll tell you why. Because the passage talks about the history, the benefits, the problems, and the future of rooftop garden. So that's a full overview. Okay, that's why answer B is correct. And for the second question, according to the passage, which statement is true about the hanging gardens of Babylon? The right option is option C. Some scholars believe that they may not have been true rooftop gardens. So historians do not fully agree. Okay, that's why C is the correct option. And for the third one, what does the passage say about the urban heat island effect? Option B is correct because the passage explains that rooftop plants absorb heat and release moisture, helping cool cities. Okay, so that's all for today's video. Kindly like, share, and subscribe for more self-help tips. See you in the next video. Bye bye.